This is Donna with More Than a Review, and I'm so excited to be with Jocie, and you also go by JC.
Yes.
Okay, so I have read her Mayson-Dickson series, and I absolutely love it. I will talk a little bit about it because my mother is from Massachusetts, my dad was from Missouri, and so I could relate to both. But we're going to let Jocie tell a little bit about herself, and then we're also going to let her talk about her book. So, Jocie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Jocie McKade, and I'm what I call an eclectic writer because I don't actually fit into a specific genre all the time. I have a romantic comedy series, and I write cozy mysteries. And the cozy mysteries always have an element of humor because I have kind of a sarcastic sense of humor. And most things that make people mad make me see a sarcastic, funny moment. My latest series, as she said, is Mayson-Dickson. And basically it was loosely based because I always call myself my family's token Yankee. Everyone in my family, my parents, grandparents, etc., are all from the South. So I spent most of my youth, especially summers, south of the Mayson-Dickson line. But I was born in Ohio. Go Buckeyes! And so, you know, I am a Yankee, and I always tease that I can go from y'all to you guys in the same sentence quite easily. So one day when I was younger, my mother mentioned something when we were coming back from my grandparents' house about me being Mayson-Dickson because I could do that, and it sort of stuck, and it got the idea, well, what if there were two sisters that didn't know each other? One was a Yankee and one was a Southern Belle, and the sparks might kind of fly there. And add a few dead bodies and a mystery about their parents.
Oh yeah, it is very, very good. Yes.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so I want to ask all my own questions, but I'll ask them for the readers first.
All right.
So I was going to ask, did you do any research? But it sounds like you've already had like experience with both the North and South to get some of your. Okay.
The only thing is, one of my characters, Jackie, is actually from Boston, and while I know a lot of Yankee slang, Boston has its own vernacular. So one of my readers, who is from Boston, I sort of shoot it off to her and you know, get a little clarification that that is actually, you know, a term that would be used and that I've used it properly because, you know, it's wicked good. So,
That's right.
But sometimes I kind of overuse wicked.
That's awesome. So I was going to ask, do you see your readers trying to choose between Mayson and Dickson? Like, do they have their favorite?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Everybody does, you know, and it's kind of per book as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, they're like, oh, I like Jackie better this time, or I liked Emmy better, and each one of them I try to give, you know, the forward heroine position in each book, so they get to know them a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Because I haven't been able to pick a favorite, and I thought maybe that's why, like, each book you'll kind of like one over the other. Because each time I think, oh my goodness, she's so ridiculous, and I'm like, okay, I love her. Because they're very South and very Northern.
They are. I tried to really, you know, distinguish that because most of us have traveled enough or have family that, you know, those lines kind of blend anymore. We're a little homogenized, but with them I wanted to make it, you know, the line there between North and South a little more distinctive.
Oh yeah, no, you did a great job.
Thank you.
So I was going to ask, like, if you didn't work, if you didn't write, what would you do for work?
Well, I've been a librarian for 16 years, and I've had a series of eclectic jobs we won't even go into. Probably my fantasy job, besides writing, I would work for National Geographic as a travel writer and go around the world. Yeah, that would be my, yeah. So if you're watching National Geographic, I am available.
Maybe you can, like, yeah, Mayson-Dickson can go around the world and you can just write that off.
There you go.
So what has been your biggest surprise after being a writer, either from like a fan or from just the industry?
From a fan, I think it would be the fact that I didn't realize how far the reach of social media was, and I've come to some writer events and had people, you know, come up and say things about my books or about a character. And actually, it was very embarrassing one time because I have an animal, and every one of my Bear books, the romantic comedy series, has an animal in it. And this lady came up and she was talking so wonderfully about this book, and I'm like, well, thank you, I was so thrilled. And then she started talking about this animal in it, and I'd forgotten. And she goes, oh, what was his name? And I'm standing there thinking, I don't remember. This is going to be really bad. I think that's it, and just having people recognize me. Yeah. I have a really funny story about that.
yeah.
The first time I was ever recognized by someone, I was actually in the dentist's office.
Oh.
Seriously, my mouth is open, I'm having a cleaning. Yeah, I'll get that ugly picture, right? And all of a sudden, the hygienist comes in, and the dentist is coming in. The hygienist looks over at him and goes, "Hey, this is her." And I'm thinking, what did I do? Did I pay the bill? And she goes, "This is one I told you about that wrote these books." And the dentist looks at me, and she starts talking to me, and they're both asking me questions about the book with my mouth propped open with gauze and stuff in it. And and honestly, she could understand everything I said. So.
It was funny. You think we're like being at the grocery store?
Yeah,
not the dentist
no, never the grocery. It was at the dentist,
Wow, that is good. What's something that readers would be surprised to know about you?
Do you want what's on the wanted poster, or do you want probably that my friends call me Earth Goddess. I live on a little farm we call Dust Bunny Farm, and I'm the one that cans. I make jelly. In fact, I have jelly here for my readers. So yeah, that would probably be it. That they can find me cooking weird stuff and canning, green beans and jelly and yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're going to end our blog post, and then we're going to catch us on Facebook Live. So you can. I'll include the link in the blog post. Thanks.
Bye.